The summer of 2024 is one that won't soon be forgotten. The burst of Calgary's largest feeder main pushed Calgarians to conserve as much water as possible. And for the Calgary Fire Department, well, it pushed their emergency planning to the test. For our 2024 year in review, we sat down with Fire Chief Steve Dongworth to talk about the water crisis and other topics. But when it comes to the water main crisis, he says his crews rose to the occasion.
Water is a critical element, and when we were told shortly after the feeder main break that we may have limited pressure, limited flow, and in some areas maybe no water at all, we had to start thinking creatively about how we might supplement water supplies as best we could to mitigate that risk. And as always, my team were magnificent. They rose to the occasion. We'd managed to identify and rent some portable pumps that we could get down to the river, to the side of lakes and those kind of things where we couldn't get a fire truck. We'd found some old city trucks that could tow the pumps, and we bought the hoses and adapters we needed. And we thought of a couple of crazy things as well, some that worked and some that didn't. We actually had a couple of water bombers on standby at Springbank in case, we never did use them, but if we'd had to bring a large quantity of water to extinguish a limited area fire very quickly, we could have called on the wildfire folks to do that. But we literally looked at everything. We worked out how much water we'd roughly need for different kinds of fires and planned to where we could have that amount of water available to folks across most of the city as best we could.
Were you ever concerned that you might fully run out of water?
Yeah, that was always a concern, because there's no doubt all of our plans would not be the same as having a hydrant with a high pressure supply. We were going to do the best we could, and we had some fairly large events as it happened during that time, which we found actually the hydrant supply wasn't quite as bad as we planned that it could be.
So City Council, of course, voted to approve blanket rezoning. Is the Calgary Fire Department equipped to fight fires in buildings of all heights in all areas of the city?
So every quarter we actually, our team meets, and mostly our battalion chiefs meet with our folks who gather data, and they look at what's going on across the city and decide if there's a need for new equipment, new stations or whatever. But first of all, we try and redeploy what we've got. Is there something that's better off? If there's not a high-rise but a mid-rise building, do we move a ladder truck into that district, for example? So we constantly monitor our risk, and that also informs, if there's more significant change, the ability for myself to go to council and ask for more resources, as we've just got in the last little while.
The Calgary Fire Department had a couple of pilot projects this year. First, electric fire truck, cameras were added to some trucks, as well as blue lights added to some trucks. So how is that going?
3 out of 3. Those are things. The electric engine is close to going into service. We've been training what we call field trainers, who'll be experts on the truck. So that's going well. And like I say, I would think it'll probably be January. From what I'm hearing, and we would have that truck in service. Blue lights is great. I think we've got 11 of our vehicles that are in a pilot that have them fitted already, with one more yet to be fitted, so we'll have 12. I actually saw for the first time a fire truck on the Deerfoot the other night with blue lights, and it's striking how much brighter those blue lights are than the red or the white or the orange that are kind of your alternatives, right? Or there's a yellow light. It's striking. So the last one was the traffic safety cameras, which would be very similar to kind of the dash cams people have in their cars. On our trucks, they're not on the dash, so we called them something different. There's cameras covering 360 degrees outside the truck. There's a microphone, I think, on the radiator grill or something to capture whether the sirens are sounding, and that's just so, occasionally our trucks unfortunately get into accidents, and often there's insurance companies who, the person claims we weren't using our sirens or we went through an intersection, and now we'll be able to show what actually happened rather than relying on kind of witnesses and stuff. So we're hopeful that, I think there's 3 of them equipped now with the traffic safety cameras, and hopefully we'll move to a place where we'll get them all equipped. I think Waste and Recycling already has a lot of their kind of garbage trucks with these kind of cameras, and they found it very helpful. Like I say, when something does happen, identifying exactly what happened and maybe how you can do things differently.
Well, Chief, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.